It's production time. I'm Reid Stefan, realest puppet in the game. Today we're talking about build-ups. I have a session open of my song Runthat that came out on Main Course earlier this year. It features some vocals from my friend Mike Taylor, who actually did vocals on a lot of my songs. But what we are going to be talking about in this tutorial is the drums. And the drums in this build-up are pretty standard as far as what's going on in the MIDI. I have these rim shots here during this part. Let me unsolo the drums. You can hear the whole thing.
This is a jack move. Run that.
I'll put a link in the description for anyone who wants to hear this full track, but let's go back to the drums and just solo these out again, and I'll just play the very end of the build-up because this is where you can really hear the effect. Now on this drums group, and this group has all of my drums except for my kick and sub, I keep those in the group up here, is Valhalla Ubermod. This is a delay plugin by my favorite reverb plugin company. I use a Valhalla plugin in just about every song since I discovered them a year or two ago. They all sound really good, and they also all sound really different. This plugin is only getting used to generate some 25 millisecond delays with a very high feedback, which means every delay is going to be 25 milliseconds apart, but it's just going to continue to repeat and repeat and repeat, so much so that these snare drums build up into a big wall of sound and blend very well with the white noise that's going on in my effects group below it. So as the drums build up, nothing is changing but the mix knob. This is like a dry, wet knob on any other plugin. So as the build-up goes up, the mix goes up, and then it cuts off for where the vocal says the song title, and then it goes into the drop. What I think is so important about this effect is the texture that it adds to the snare drums. And it may not sound like it's doing a lot, but when you turn off the plugin and play the same piece, it's just really not that exciting. What I did to kind of build off of this effect was add this filter plugin to it. This is the Djm Filter by Xfer. This is actually a free plugin that you can get off of xferrecords.com/freeware. And I love it because it sounds just like the filter knob on the Pioneer mixer that I use all the time when I DJ. I love the way the resonance on that, I guess EQ you could call it, sounds. And I did nothing but just automate the parameter in the same way that you would if you were DJing and turning the filter knob during the build-up. Now, this effect, I think, is just as important as the effect before it, because the effect before it is creating a texture, and what the Djm filter is doing is creating some contrast. And that contrast is between the build-up and the drop. And it's not dynamic contrast, where the content is getting quieter. It's harmonic contrast, where it's getting thinner. And that makes the thicker sound, which you could call the drop, sound even more heavy and more bassy, because it's coming right after a part of the song that's so thin and essentially just white noise that you're able to create a whole lot of impact without really adjusting much. However, I did actually do a little bit of volume adjustment to help this along because the buildup sounded really loud, and it was such a simple solution, and it never even occurred to me to do this, but just turn the master volume down. As the buildup is building up, it starts at full volume, and by the time the buildup is done, my master is almost at minus 4.5 decibels. So my buildup is actually almost 4 decibels quieter than my drop, and you don't even realize it because of how noisy it gets from this delay plugin. But if you look on the master meter here, you'll see that it actually does jump up quite a bit right here.
Run that.
So those are all little tricks that you could use to enhance your build-up in a very simple way, because the production that I did below these plugins isn't anything groundbreaking. It's some snare drums and rim shots. This one's doing 16th notes and probably pitching up an octave. I have some other like stomping noises and some kick noises that I layered in here. Some drum breaks that I chopped up just to give that old school vibe. But yeah, I think the magic in this build-up was really all in those two plugins. And I think that is the key to creating a simple and effective build-up. It's not about going crazy in the production. I think it's about thinking outside the box with your automation. So I encourage you guys to take these techniques and apply them to your songs. I certainly use these plugins all over the place. There's a lot to be done with your build-ups, and this is a very simple, intermediate level technique, I would say. So stay tuned, and I'm going to be coming back with more tutorials.